battle between the young folks. 24-year-old Mike Jasnau, and to be 25 in August, Pete Weber. Jasnau, who eliminated Schlegel, shoots first.
Some sedated action in the first two matches. It'll pick up this match with Weber in there.
Mike got 8 strikes in his victory.
Chris, Mike Jasnau is the man to beat in this tournament. He looks so smooth, and if Pete Weber doesn't do the job, I think that he'll go all the way. Let's see what happens.
33rd television appearance for this 24-year-old. Didn't come up all the way, leaving the 2-pin.
As we set up the championship pair, remember with David Houston, when you send the ball wide on the right-hand lane, you can't hardly get it back. Once again, Pete Weber with that high profile sends it wide, and he leaves the 2-pin. He converts it.
Pete Weber has finished twice second this year. So he's looking for that first win. He is 3 on the money list, $76,075, thanks to a second place check in our first tournament of the year of $55,000.
It's so gentle that during clinical testing, not one woman experienced burning or irritation on its feet.
Everything worked smoothly for Weber.
Pete Weber, with all that power, gets the ball really wide on the left-hand lane, and this tremendous revolutions drives the ball right through the heart of the 1-3, the 5 over the 7, something that nobody's been able to do today. And now he'll give Jasnau something to think about. Let's see what happens with Mike.
Mike is zeroed in. Native of Fishkill, New York, where he started bowling at a young age.
David Houston and Ernie Schlegel, the first 2 contestants to go down this week. We're rolling the ball 17 to 18 miles an hour. Mike Jasnau came on in the last match. He rolled at about 20 miles an hour. If you see a fingertip grip, urethane bowling ball, index finger spread. Let's see if he can take a 20-pin lead.
10-pin on the left lane.
Jasnau will amp up that speed to almost 22 miles an hour as he crosses the lane to convert the 10-pin. Once again, the ball does not finish quite solid in the pocket, but he looks really sharp in the early going.
Double and a spare for Jasnau. A spare and a strike for Weber, who's up, shooting in the 3rd frame now. Take a 1-pin lead with a strike here.
This is the key lane for Pete Weber. With that big hook, he sends it wide on the right-hand lane that doesn't finish quite as much, and no matter how much turn or power he puts on it, doesn't quite get the job done, and once again he leaves the 2-pin.
We asked Pete earlier why he has dropped out of a few tournaments recently.
Well, I've had a lot of wrist problems this year. In LA, I had to withdraw from the finals because my wrist hurt so bad. And then I had to withdraw again in Peoria. But I've seen a doctor, and I'm getting electrical impulse treatments on it. And I'm back, and I'm ready to go.
He's ready now on the left lane, way to the right of center. Another 10-pin.
Pete, surprising that he can't carry the 10-pin with all that power, but once again he reaches for another ball, a shinier ball. Cut down the surface friction, cut down the hook. Obviously all that you need is accuracy on the spares.
And with a lot of speed, Weber continues to mark in a very close match. 10 pins separating our 2 young pros. The tournament leader, 27-year-old Jimmy Fritz Jr. A New Englander. He wants a win badly, but here are 2 young professionals that hope to take one away from him today. You're looking at a non-winner named Mike Jasnau. has a 10-pin lead, spare working fourth frame. Three strikes in fourth frame.
Jasnau really has his act together. He's adjusted to the right-hand lane, cutting down the hook and using a shot about 20 miles an hour. That's faster than anybody's used on that lane. He seems to have solved the problem. Mike, who, once again, is from Wichita State University, has a good group and following down here, and he tells me he'll be in Wichita with David Houston tomorrow for a Big Little Brothers charity tomorrow, Chris. So this man's got it all together.
Oof. And double. Brought to a 20-pin lead, and Weber is back up. With a spare working, shooting in the fifth frame. Finished second overall behind his friend Jimmy Fritz Jr., the tournament leader, who will meet the winner of this game.
Let's see what kind of adjustment Weber makes. He's been light. Both shots here on the right-hand lane has left the 2-pin. Let's see if he can adjust.
The 5-8.
And that looks like the lane that's going to give the big power players the problem. David Houston came by the announce booth, and he said that this was the problem lane, that the lane gets slicker and slicker as you bowl. The big hook will not come back, and as you see the swing of Pete Weber, watch the wrist action. See that big turn over the second arrow, but not enough to get it back to hit solid in the pocket. Now, one of the dangers of a player who is lost on a lane, he may lose the left-hand lane also. Pete, although very young, extremely experienced, it's so important. His wife Dee Dee looks on to keep tuned in here on the left-hand lane in case he hits the right-hand lane.
And Dee Dee and Pete's daughter Nicole right there at the left.
Tremendous pin action. Pete Weber undoubtedly has one of the greatest strike balls ever to come out in the Pro Bowlers Tour. If he can keep it there, he's very tough. Now let's see if Jasnau, who wasn't really that aggressive in his first match, can be aggressive in this Weber match and close him out early. Jasnau, 32-pin lead, has every ball in the pocket. Strikes in the first and second frames, 10-pin in the third, has put together 3 more strikes. Chris, he's the only one who's been able to figure out the pair so far.
If you weren't doing the real what would you be doing? Like, what's your, give me the,
he has a strong 4 and goes out to a 42-pin lead against Pete Weber. More after this. There's Pete Weber covering the 10-pin on the left lane in the 8th frame. Running behind our schedule in the 7th frame, he left the 4-pin and marked. He's trailing by 43 against Mike Jasnau, who has a 4-bagger shooting in the 8th. His sister, Jeanette DiBiase.
Jasnau with a chance to put the match away.
Happy sister, and of course, more pleasant look on the face of 24-year-old Mike. What a tremendous comer. He will really make his presence known in the future, Bo.
No doubt, Chris. President of King Louie International, Bob Palin, I was speaking with him just before we went on the air. He said, who do you think will win? I says, if Jasnau gets by the first match, look out. He says, you got to be kidding. I says, this kid has really got it. You watch. Match well in hand. That makes very little difference.
But that's not matter him anyway.
Very appreciative crowd here. Very knowledgeable, leading the 2-4-5-8 as a result of this shot.
Jasnau with about 13 revolutions on the bowling ball. Pete Weber, one of the more powerful balls, gets about 15 revolutions. The 2, 4, 5, and 8 Jasnau obviously straight at it, not to give up any big open frame if he can help it.
So Pete back up now, shooting in the 9th frame of our 3rd game. The first for Pete, the second for Jasnau. with the high hit
Weber
and the split. $8,000 for Weber today, adding to his $76,000 he's earned thus far this year. But the first win of the year is most elusive for this young man. So there is Mike Jasnau, who will go into the final match.
Good
The
performance
professional
by
bowling
Mike
tour will
Jasnau.
continue after this
Like and
message and a word.